Okay, am I live yet? Everywhere? Still says starting over here. I'm live streaming everywhere, so. Failed to go live. Sure they're all enabled. Which one failed to go live? I'm seeing if I'm live everywhere. So if you could see me on Facebook and YouTube, just give me one moment. Send in your questions while you wait. All right, let me just double check this. All right, these should be going live. Can you see me on Instagram? I'm talking to a relative. Let me know if you can see me on Instagram because supposedly it's having trouble going live, which is irking the fuck out of me because I already did this ahead of time. This should be verified. Technical difficulties. So if you're watching me on StreamYard or whatever, Facebook and YouTube, I'm checking to see all my other channels. Failed to go live, please verify your accounts, which I've done this weeks ahead and it was fine. Can you see me on Instagram? All right, let me shut this one off and try this again. All right, let me just try to verify these all over again. Browser. Should be working. All right. All right. I'm going to start the computer all over. All right, sorry for the delay. Sorry for that. I was having technical difficulties, but I'm back. I'm gonna go live anyway, whether people like it or not, because that was weird. I usually don't have technical difficulties. But hi, I'm Avishai L. I am Vates and Adivina, who some people consider a seer, a psychic, spiritual healer. I'm certified raw food educator, holistic health coach. I'm a lifestyle expert. I am that I am. I do it all. This is the official launch of my Put the Heal and Healthy weekly series. And I'm doing it to uplift fallen humanity. And when I'm not doing this series, I am teaching open-minded empathic women how to get rid of their stress in 90 days, utilizing my 6-step Eat Stress Away method with nutrition and lifestyle changes. So the questions that I'm going to be answering tonight are very, very random. And that's what I like about this. It gets you answers to your questions. So the first question that someone actually sent to me was how to get rid of ataxia. I'm just making sure I'm live on Instagram as well. I couldn't get Twitter going, but whatever. So ataxia, for those of you who don't know, that's something that I personally had, and someone reached out to me because they, saw me with it. Ataxia, it's a neurological disorder and it affects your movement. It makes you feel like your coordination is off. The picture is fuzzy. All right, let me check the camera. It looks fine on my end. Is it still fuzzy now? It looks fine on my end. I don't know. Let me know if it's still fuzzy. So it affects your coordination. It affects how you speak, your speech. You have trouble swallowing, you fall a lot. It affects the way you walk. It affects everything. So I'm not necessarily going to say how to get rid of it completely because it's on an individual basis. I would have to personally work with someone in that capacity. Is it still fuzzy? Let me know if it's gone. In that capacity. However, what I will say is that it is dietary related. Now, a lot of people, because we have these diagnoses and we think that this is, some sort of a, people make it a big deal when they give it a name. You hear ataxia and you see all the symptoms and you immediately get afraid, and it's not fun to have. I mean, you experience paralysis and various things. However, once you look at it, yes, genetics play a small role. It is a genetically diagnosed dis-ease. Okay, it's a dis-ease of the body, and any dis-ease can be brought back to acidity or alkalinity. It's based off of how acidic you are or alkaline you are. So if you go back, a lot of children have ataxia. It's rare, but children do have ataxia, and that's caused by the diet of their parents, based off of their own predetermined destiny, which is through their genetics. So whether the parent was eating, an acidic diet, meaning, processed foods, junk foods, and things of that nature, and things like that, that could contribute to ataxia. When you think of ataxia, think of the stiffening of joints. Okay, it's really stiff. When you're paralyzed, everything is very stiff. So when you have a lot of acid in the body, this causes inflammation, which creates that stiffness in the body. So in order to get rid of that stiffness, you have to first lower the inflammation, which is due to acid. So you want to start to incorporate more alkaline foods in the body to get rid of that acidity and that inflammation. Okay, so the blood can flow. I'm hearing lymphatic system. So you're going to also want to really pay attention to your lymphatic system. So I hope that answers your question. If you have a further question on that specific one in terms of ataxia, then you could let me know. So that was the first question. The second one was, is endometriosis curable? Now, endometriosis, for those of you who don't know, I also personally had that as well. it affects women's reproductive system. So it's basically when the inside lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterus. So it's supposed to grow in the inside. However, for whatever reason, it grows on the outside. And what ends up happening is it attaches itself to other organs, and it creates a lot of pain in the body. It's considered an autoimmune disorder now. It's very painful. It causes some women to be infertile. Yeah, I had everything. Exactly. It's serious. That's she knows. It causes so many different things. You know, a lot of women have to end up having what they call laparoscopy surgery, where you get 3 to 4 incisions, and they basically go in, and it is major surgery. Although it's small incisions, shit is major. Okay. So you go in and you get rid of any scar tissues, because it creates scar tissue. You get things like chocolate cysts, a busted fallopian tube, and yeah, it's very, very bad. So endometriosis, is it curable? I'm not necessarily going to throw out curable, but however, from my experience, I had endometriosis for 8 years, and from 15 to 23. And after 23, it was completely gone. And I met with my gynecologist at that time. I no longer have a gynecologist. They knew me at the hospital. I was there all the time. It was completely gone. And that's because I opted to do a vegan plant-based diet. Now, I'm not going to say everything works for everyone. I'm just giving you what solutions worked for me. I ended up taking myself off of the Yaz, Mirena IUD, all of that garbage that was pumping in my system. So to answer that question, I personally got rid of endometriosis. I'm not going to throw out that it's curable, because I would have to work with you on an individual basis and go over your health history, go over your allergies. You have to know certain foods that irritate it. Is it dietary related? Absolutely. I wouldn't say it's so much genetics. Like I said, that plays a small role. What really exasperates things is your nutrition. Okay. So that would be the answer for endometriosis. If you want to, what I would definitely start to cut out though is, or what I would start to do is start to journal. Let me just check that I have the right mic. Start to journal what foods that you're eating, and see if you feel worse eating those foods or better eating those foods. And what you want to do is continue to eat the foods that make you feel better and start to eliminate the ones. This is not about, oh, that's my favorite food now. It's all about, your health, essentially. So you want to get rid of foods that are not supporting your health. For me, it was gluten, it was wheat, it was dairy. Dairy was a bitch and a half when it came to endometriosis. Okay. So hope that answers your question. So the next one is, should you portion size your meals? Absolutely not. You don't have to portion size your meals. Okay. I see a lot of people portion sizing their meals based off of the basic bitchy fat, carbs, and protein. However, not realizing that you're not eating for health, essentially. A lot of people are focused on the macronutrients. Macronutrients and micronutrients are both equally important. However, you can find micronutrients and macronutrients in plant-based foods, high in water content, and nutrient-dense foods. So when you're dealing with eating healthy and you're focused on the fat, carbs, and protein, you're not really recognizing that. And what I mean by protein, a lot of people focus on, fish and animal flesh being that big bulk of their meals, and that's their protein. And then the carbs are like the sweet potato, and then you have like white rice. So none of it is healthy. Okay. Which is why I don't agree with portion sizing, because none of it is healthy. White rice contributes to diabetes. It raises your blood levels, your blood sugar levels. It lowers your white blood cell count. So now your body has trouble fighting off infection. And then you have, the protein protein, which people think is super important. That's actually not the most important. You're focused on the protein, which has no antioxidants. Like I always say, we're made up of trillions of cells, and those cells need oxygen, which is why you need antioxidants. So if your focus is on protein, which has no phytochemicals, has no antioxidants, and are rich in heterocyclic amines, which contributes to cancer, you're already predisposed for cancer because you do have some abnormal cells. That's why it's important that your diet is rich in foods high in antioxidants. So, should you portion size your meals? I would say no. The focus needs to be more on eating foods rich in micronutrients, because when they're rich in micronutrients, all plant-based foods, I'm not saying go vegan, I'm saying go more plant-based, has a high amount of macro and micronutrients. You don't even have to worry about that. Protein is a myth. Unless you're an athlete that's running marathons and powerlifting and you're just like active throughout the whole day, then you uptake your protein. However, if you're just a regular person who exercises, you exercise every single day on the daily, you shouldn't need more than 45 grams of protein. This is not coming from me. This is coming from medical research. And I also interviewed doctors on my podcast that confirmed this as well. They were also an athlete, an avid athlete, a professional athlete. So that would be my answer. The focus should be more on eating for health, not eating for dieting. Okay. And our last question of the day is how to lose weight. So this is a yummy question, because how to lose weight. The first thing I want to say is, in order to lose weight, you do have to fix the way you word stuff. And I'll go into that in just a second. You also want to fix, and I don't like saying fix, not fix. You want to transmute your thinking. So the mental and emotional parts of you. So don't say, oh, I have to lose weight. I have to lose weight. I'm overweight. When is this going to happen? Because energetically, on a subconscious level, you're telling yourself that you're fat. So you're going to manifest you staying that way. Our words and our thoughts, they carry frequency, they carry vibration. So that's the first thing you want to focus on. You want to transmute that into saying, I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. I love my body. You want to focus more on eating for health. Once you make that switch, you'll have fun losing weight versus, oh, I got to lose weight. This is horrible. This is going to, take forever. And, those self-deprecating thoughts. So you want to eat for health versus eating for weight loss. Okay. And the second way to lose weight is to set specific, tangible goals. How much do you want to lose? By when? And your most important, so you have the what do you want to lose, the how, but you really need to, and the when, but you want to know why you're doing it. Sometimes people come to me and they're doing it because their relative was overweight or their relative had type 2 diabetes and they're predisposed to it. So they want to avoid that. You have to have a reason why. It can't be for, well, I'm losing it for the wedding, because it's not, or for whoever, a friend's wedding, because that's not going to last. That's like you're going to end up yo-yo dieting and gaining the weight back. You have to have a specific reason why. For me, I realized I got to cut certain foods out because I can die. That was my why. That's continuously my why. That would scare the shit out of anybody. So you want to have a reason why. So those are my tips on how you can actually lose weight. And then you want to start looking at your meals. So you want to start writing down what you're eating on a daily basis that's possibly keeping the weight on you. And, everyone's looking at weight as I just need to, switch what I'm eating and it'll come off. But weight gain is due to so many different factors. It can be due to the fact that you're intolerant to something. You could be allergic to something. You could be eating something that's causing you to be inflamed. There's so many different factors. Stress contributes to weight gain. So it's going to take you writing down what's causing you to eat certain things, why you're eating certain things, what are your favorite meals. And that's why when I work with clients, I'm like, what are your favorite meals? Because you don't have to deprive yourself to lose weight. That's also a myth. So what I like to do with people is see what they like to eat and give them a meal plan to where they can enjoy losing weight because they're eating for health in the process. Okay, so I hope that answered that last question. Okay, so those are all the health questions. If you have any specific ones, write them down. I'm going to get into the essential oil readings. So does anyone have any specific issues that they're dealing with that they need any essential oils for? And for those of you who don't know, I'm shuffling cards. For those of you who don't know what essential oils are, they are essential to your body. They're cold steam distilled, extracted, cold pressed, steam distilled, extracted from the plants, the leaves, the trees, flowers, seeds, bark, stem, everything you could name. And what happens is when there's an environmental threat, the plant, the flower, whatever, will use its own plant medicine to protect it from certain threats. And actually, a lot of the medications that you see on the commercials with all of the side effects, they actually use a piece of the plant, which is the essential oil, and they mix it in with other garbage. And that's why you see all these side effects. That's how they make their funds. That's how these big pharmacies make all these funds, because once you get a side effect, you're going to need another medication. So that's good marketing on their end. However, back in ancient times, they just used the pure therapeutic grade essential oil. You know, I ingest them, you know, like I have this one, which I ingest under the tongue to boost immunity. Some people are against ingesting, but you want to make sure every essential oil you're able to ingest them, or they have synthetics in there. You want to make sure it doesn't say external use. You want to make sure it's a therapeutic grade essential oil. So that's what essential oils are. They help with your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. You have everything to help with anxiety to terminal illness that I've seen personally throughout my years. So if anyone has any specifics, if they have any specific questions, I know some people had questions about sleep. I know other people had different questions. So I could recommend some oils to you. And then if I feel that you need an in-depth reading, we can talk about that. So you can write that down in the comments if you have any specific questions about essential oils. Hi, whoever joined on Instagram. It was supposed to be on my MacBook, but it wasn't working. Does anyone have any specific essential oil questions or want to know what essential oils can support their body? Essential oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. A lot of times people will give you, like, for what's going around, you know, the so-called coronavirus, a lot of people will give you an antibiotic with that. And what people don't realize is that antibiotics only target the virus outside of the cell. Like I said, I'll bring you back. We're made up of trillions of cells. So that antibiotic only targets the virus, that big clunky virus outside of the cell. Whereas essential oils, because your cells are oil-based, the essential oils can actually penetrate the cellular wall and actually kill that virus so it doesn't come back. That's actually what I used. I used a couple of essential oils for my eye when I almost went blind in this eye, and it has not come back since. I used to get it from ages 16 on to like 23, and after that, it just did not come back ever again because it has the ability to get rid of the virus. Now, with antibiotic, you take it for the flu, or you take it for coronavirus or whatever. You take it for a different virus. All viruses they're viruses. And you take it for that. It will come back, especially if you're eating foods that don't boost immunity. You know, you're lowering your immune system. Your immune system is compromised, and you're not supplementing with things like essential oils. The best way to use them, you can diffuse them. You can rub them on the bottoms of your feet, back of your neck, back of your, your ears, your forehead. Some of them do need coconut oil, like oregano, clove, all the hot ones. What other ones? Not so much cardamom. Cinnamon. Oh God, please use coconut oil with cinnamon if you're dealing with something. When I was dealing with liver damage, I would rub some cinnamon with grapefruit, and I think it was something else, but I would use, some coconut oil in addition to that, because they're considered hot oils and you will feel like you're burning. But for the most part, and they work very, very good, very, very comforting. The other way is you can ingest them in water. A lot of people like to put lemon and wild orange in their water, grapefruit. If you're on medication, use discretion with that. I'm not trying to get you away from that. So that's the best way to use them. Do you have a specific question as to what oils would benefit you? Yeah, they definitely need a carrier oil. Yeah, it's called a carrier oil. Any specific questions as to what oil would benefit you for anything? Whether it could be for energy, it could be for weight loss, it could be for skin, it could be for anything. Because if no one has a question, I'm going to do what I call a universal fascia essential oil reading to see what everybody can use. And the way that works, as whoever's typing, the way that works is whatever I pick up on, if you watch the replay of this, no matter if it's next year, the year after, it will apply to you. So if you're dealing with headaches and you're like, oh my God, I'm the one with the headaches, and I say what essential oils you might need, then go and get that oil if you agree with that. But I'm going to pull out some messages that will help what I consider the universal fascia, because fascia too, what I want to say, fascia, which I was saying on my podcast, is that thick layer, that thick connective tissue layer that protects all your organs. Okay. And we're all connected somehow in this universal fascia. A lot of people say collective consciousness. I don't like saying what other people say. I'm not that spiritual person that just falls into a fucking bubble and says what everybody's saying. I like to do my own thing. I have creator cards that I've designed myself. Actually, I have to get them designed again because these have essential oils on them. I don't call them tarot cards. I call them creator cards because, again, I don't want to be lumped in with everybody. I do my own thing. And I pick up spiritual messages intuitively, and I also shuffle differently. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is just get a message that everyone can benefit from. If you feel like, oh my God, that applies to me, then go do it. I don't know what I'm going to see and what I'm going to pick up, but I'm going to see. So 4 cards, please. 4 cards. Told you I shuffled differently. Oh, 1 fell. 2 fell on the floor. 1 second. All right. So I got jasmine. I wrote berry, but it can be, that's what I was told to write. That's what my spirit told me to write. So 2 more cards. 2 more cards. Oh, cardamom. All right. 1 more card. Okay, that's too many. You want to come out? Interesting. All right, I'm going to see what messages I get from this. So I have grapefruit, cardamom, jasmine, and berry. Let's see. Let me get a couple more for berry. Spikenard. I'm heavily seeing like a garden and there's like trees. There's like these tall leafy trees. There's tall leafy trees. I'm seeing like a lot of leaves, and I'm also seeing, what am I seeing for berry? I'm hearing ocean waves. So there's like tall trees and ocean waves. What else am I seeing? For whatever reason, when I look at cardamom, I'm seeing like chocolate. I just heard chocolate heavy. But it's like carved out chocolate. And when I look at the berry, I'm seeing antioxidants. It's like berries and chocolate, berries and chocolate. So someone here is dealing with some heart issues. You might benefit from eating berries and chocolate. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing heavy oxygen. A lot of you need oxygen sent to your cells, and I'm hearing brain as well. I don't know who's dealing with brain issues. When I look at grapefruit, I'm seeing to open your mind to, I'm hearing a new adventure, like new adventure, new beginning. You have to be open to that. This is for the universal fascia. This is for everybody. Card for Jasmine. What about Jasmine am I seeing here? What about Jasmine am I seeing? Where do you want to fall? I just got geranium. Where do you want to fall? Where do you want to fall? I just heard bridge the gap. A lot of you need to bridge the gap with what you think you know and what is what I'm getting. And some of you lack inspiration, so you need to be more inspired by listening to your intuition. Am I getting anything else? What card is this? And you have vanilla too. Yeah, I'm getting heavy oxygen, heavy antioxidants. I'm seeing someone who has a breathing respirator. You need to incorporate more antioxidants into your diet. Definitely. Foods high in oxygen. I'm hearing brain health, heavily brain health, someone with brain health. So the oils that could benefit. So I have cardamom, berry, and spikenard for that. For intuition and opening and inspiration and bridging the gap between what you think is happening and what actually is, opening your reality is what I'm seeing is grapefruit, geranium, and jasmine. So those are the messages that I'm getting. I'm seeing moving forward. Once you do that, you'll move forward. There's a lot of egotistical. I'm seeing a visual of someone eating unhealthy. It's a visual of like someone in a store that's almost like in this lower vibrational energy making fun of someone for doing something out of the norm because they don't understand it. But once you start to be open-minded, you'll move forward and not be stagnant, because that's a stagnant energy and you're in danger with that energy. I don't know who's having that energy. I'm seeing like palish they're not melanated. I'm seeing like a palish little boy with blonde hair. But it's representing an adult. It's representing adults and how they behave. And that energy is, you're in danger with that energy. So I would fix that energy and be more open-minded. And that's what I'm getting. So I hope those help somebody. This will be up on YouTube. And if you want to work with me, if you want a personal essential oil reading, if you need any of my services, let me know in the comments. Feel free to say replay and I will respond to your comments. I hope this was helpful and have a wonderful night.